Good morning, dear students. In the last class, we discussed about the components of motherboard. How many components we have in motherboard? There are 7 components. Okay. In that last class, we discussed about the input/output ports. Okay. Input/output ports. What is port? Port nothing but it is a sockets back of the computer to connect external devices, to connect keyboard, mouse, modem. Okay, different devices. We want ports. Okay, ports are very important to connect our input and output devices. That's why you have to use ports. Okay, there are different types of ports. Already you studied in last class. Okay, there are 8 you have ports in computer. Okay, almost all nowadays we are using USB port. It is a popular port. Okay, last class we discussed about this. In that first one, the different types of ports, we discussed about the first serial port. It is used to connect mouse and modem. Okay, then second one, parallel port. It is used to connect a printer. Okay, then third one, USB port. You can connect any devices through USB port. You can connect mouse, keyboard, you can connect printer, you can connect any printer, you can by any devices you can connect to the USB port. Okay, there are so many features of USB port because it is a plug and play. Plug and play, it is user friendly port. Okay, it is user friendly port because without switching of computer you can connect any devices to the computer. Okay, that's why it is a plug and play port. Got it? See, then why it supports USB port, it support 127 devices. Any device you can connect to the port, it support it. Okay, then see its speed is 12 MB per second. You can connect pen drive, you can just connect pen drive, automatically data will transfer to computer. Okay, 12 MB the data transfer speed is 12 MB per second. Okay, last class we discussed about this. Then last class we discussed about the see these SCSI port. SCSI ports are used to connect a high-ended hard disk. If we are getting in market, we are getting a external hard disk. To connect these hard disk, we have to use SCSI port. Then the last class we discussed about the MIDI port. MIDI port is used to connect musical instruments like guitar, tabla. Okay, different devices. We have one wire for that. Just you have to connect to the computer. Okay, then the last class we discussed about these game port is used to connect gaming devices ಅಂದರೆ ಯಾವುದು ಜಾಯ್ಸ್ಟಿಕ್. ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಲ್ ಜಾಯ್ಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ನ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಟು ಪ್ಲೇಯಿಂಗ್ ಗೇಮ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ವಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದೀಸ್. ಓಕೆ, these are the input output ports. Totally you have to learn components of a motherboard. There are how many components we have? There are 7 components of motherboard. Okay, in motherboard ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು components ಇರ್ತವೆ? There are 7 components. Okay, last class we discuss about this. Okay, then today class we discuss about the computer memory. Okay, already you discussed in first year. Okay, in first year ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ how many types of computer memory you have. See, computer memory is used for what purpose? First, computer memory used to store our data and instructions. Okay, used to store our data instructions, you have to use computer memory. Okay, computer memory can be measured in terms of GB, MB. Okay, GB, this is you know already. Okay, computer memory, there are 3 types of computer memory. Okay, there are 3 types of computer memory. The first one is a primary memory, second one is a secondary memory, then third one is a cache memory. Okay, already you know this in first year. Okay, primary memory, it stores the data and instruction temporarily it stores the data and instruction. Example for primary memory is RAM and ROM. Okay, RAM and ROM are the example for primary memory. Already you discuss about in first year you discuss about the difference between RAM and ROM. RAM means random access memory, ROM means read only memory. Okay, last class we discussed about that. In examination they will ask you, okay, expand different types of RAM. Okay, tell me the different types of the RAM. Okay, already you discussed in first year RAM, you know static RAM and dynamic RAM. Okay, but in second year they will ask you expand. There are 3 types of RAM. We have DRAM, SDRAM, then DDR SDRAM. Okay, then DRAM, SDRAM, DDR, SDRAM. Okay, how to expand this? You know already. See, DRAM means dynamic random access memory. Okay, dynamic random access memory. Then SDRAM means S means synchronous. See, S means what? Synchronous dynamic random access memory. Synchronous dynamic random access memory. So many times 1 marks question asked in the exam. Okay, expand SDRAM. SDRAM means synchronous dynamic random access memory. Okay, then last one is a DDR SDRAM. DDR SDRAM. DDR means double data rate. Double data rate SDRAM. Double data rate SD means synchronous dynamic random access memory. Full long form ಬರಿಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇದನ್ನು ಕೇಳಿದಾನೆ. Okay, for 1 marks. Okay, expand DDR RAM ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ just you write double data rate random access memory. If they ask you DDR SDRAM means double data rate synchronous dynamic random access memory. These are what? These are the types of RAM. Okay, types of RAM is used for what purpose? To processing data. Also we want RAM. Okay, random access memory, randomly it accessing the memory. Okay, that's why you have to use a RAM. Okay, they are, you know already first year RAM and ROM. Okay, where these are also mounted on where? These are mounted on motherboard. Okay, motherboard alle irutte idu RAM matte ROM nothing but BIOS chip. Okay, BIOS chip. These are what? These are the about primary memory. Okay, already you but in examination they will ask you only expansions. Okay, expansions, so just you have to remember this. Then the second memory device is second one is a secondary memory. Secondary memory, already you know, it is a permanent memory. The example for these hard disk, floppy disk, CD, these are the example. Already first year already you discuss about this. Okay, first year alli idna secondary memory kaltiddiri. Okay, idu nimage syllabus ಗೆ ಏನು ಇಲ್ಲ, don't worry about this. Then now the very important is a cache memory. What is cache memory? Explain working of cache memory ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. What is cache memory? Explain the types of cache memory. Okay, what is cache memory? It is also one computer memory. Okay, cache memory, it is a high speed memory. It is high speed memory. It is high speed memory. Cache memory is a high speed memory. ಎಲ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೆ ಇದು? It is placed between CPU and RAM. Okay, it is high speed memory. It is placed between CPU and RAM. In between CPU and RAM it will be placed. Okay, you have to remember this cache memory. There are how many? See, cache memory means it is high speed memory. Okay, placed between CPU and RAM. What is the main use of cache memory? Cache memory use ಅಂದ್ರೆ it stores most recent data. The most recent data can be stored by this cache memory. Okay, most recent, ಇವಾಗ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ಆ ಡಾಟಾ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ ಡಾಟಾ and instructions can be stored by this cache memory. In examination they will ask you what is the use of cache memory. It stores most recent data. Okay, this is a 1 mark question already asked in so many times. Okay, this is you have to remember. The next one is explain the working of cache memory. Explain the working of a cache memory. For 5 marks question or 3 marks question ಕೇಳೋ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. See, explain the working of cache memory. See how it will work. Always you have to remember there are 2 types of cache memory we have. Okay, there are 2 types of cache memory. One is L1 cache. Second one is the L2 cache. L1 cache L irutte. See, L1 cache always it is within CPU or processor. Okay, always it in CPU or processor. CPU andru onde, processor andru onde. See, always it is stay in within CPU or processor. See, then in examination they will ask you where the L1 cache will be situated. Where the L1 cache will be located. Located in a processor. It is located in a processor. Okay, then second one, L2 cache. Where it is, where the L2 cache will be located. Where the L2 cache will be in between CPU and RAM. In between CPU and RAM. In between CPU and RAM, this L2 cache will be located. Okay, what is the size, memory size of L1 cache? See, memory size of L1 cache is up to 280 KB. 280 KB ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಸೈಜ್ ಮೆಮರಿನ ಹೋಲ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ದೆನ್ up to L2 cache is up to 2 MB. Up to 2 MB of data can be held by L2 cache. Okay, this is you have to remember. So many times examination alli kelidane where the L1 cache will be located, where the L2 cache will be located. Got it? L1 cache memory also, these are used to store our data. Okay, very small data can be stored by these cache memory. Okay, then how it will process. Explain the working of cache memory. First, see, you know already who processing data in computer. Who processing the data in computer? CPU it processing the data in computer. Okay, when see first when during processing CPU asks the data to L1 cache. It asks the data to the L1 cache. If data found in L1 cache, it process it. If data cannot be found in L1 cache, then it asks to L2 cache. If data found, then data will goes to CPU and it process it. Okay, if data not found in L2 cache also, then the CPU asks the data to the RAM. It asks the data to the RAM. Okay, for processing purpose, processing data. See, in data the RAM will be loading the data into the cache. Okay, then RAM it loading the data into the cache, then CPU processing the data. This is a mechanism how the cache memory will be working. Okay, once again I will tell you, see how the cache memory will be work here. See, first during processing, CPU just check the data in L1 cache. It check the data in L1 cache. If data found, it is processing the data. If data not found means it asks to L2 cache. If data not found in L2 cache also, it asks to RAM. Then RAM it loads the data into the L1 cache. Okay, L1 cache, then it takes the data, CPU takes the data and process it. Okay, like this is a working of cache memory. With a neat diagram explain the working of a cache memory ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. Just you have to draw this diagram, then explain this. Okay, there are two types of cache memory we have. First one is a L1 cache, second one is a L2 cache. Where the L1 cache will be located? L1 cache always it is in processor or CPU. Okay, then L2 cache will in between CPU and RAM. Okay, these questions are so many times kelidane. Okay, this is about a cache memory. Okay, you have to know about the cache memory, then know about these computer memory alli nimage almost keladu expand DRAM ant kelidane, expand SDRAM, expand DDR SDRAM. Okay, these type of questions asked in the exams. Okay, this is about a computer memory and about a cache memory. Okay, I'm sending a notes. Okay, just you have to see the notes. Then also you have to see the images of a motherboard. Okay, you are in images you are getting where the CMOS battery and where the is a BIOS chip, RAMs and expansion slot. Just you type in Google, you have to type motherboard images. Okay, motherboard images, components of, otherwise you have to type components of motherboard. When you are getting images, okay, then you can see this. Okay, what purpose you want to use these every components. Okay, this is about computer memory. Next class we discuss about the UPS. Okay, already we are using UPS in our home also. What is the use of UPS? Okay, then SMPS, how to supply the power to the computer, that we have to discuss in the next class. Okay, please write notes, then only you can understand what is the concept. Okay, I already am sending this chapter full notes. Okay, already I am sending this, so just you have to write it. Okay, thank you for watching this video.